Good evening, and softly I welcome you to the sleepy dreamer. You are here now in this small pocket of night, and the rest of the world can wait. Feel the way your body rests against the bed, the way the mattress rises gently to meet your weight. Notice the fabric against your skin, warm in some places, cooler in others, like tiny patches of night and dusk. The day has done what it needed to do. You do not have to do anything more. Let your attention drift to the air around you. You might hear a faint sound, perhaps the low hum of a distant appliance or a car far away, or nothing at all. Whatever you hear is part of this quiet. If there is a sound, it softens. If there is silence, it deepens. Close your eyes or simply let them grow heavy. Behind your eyelids, there is a gentle darkness. Not an empty darkness, but a soft one, like velvet that has held light all day and is finally allowed to cool. The shadows in your room grow longer and quieter, and in that quiet, you arrive more fully here. Take a slow breath in, through your nose if that feels kind. Let the air move down into your chest, your ribs, your belly. Feel your body stretch just a little, then soften. Then let the breath fall out, light and unforced, like a feather drifting down through still air. There is a glow still lingering even in this darkness. Maybe it is the last trace of light under the door, or a small lamp dimmed to its lowest setting, or the memory of daylight still printed gently on your eyes. That glow is the beginning of our story tonight. Not a bright glare, not a sharp spotlight, only a quiet glow at the edge of night. You and I will sit with that glow for a while. We will not rush to explain it. We will not hurry to name it. We will simply notice how it rests. Imagine the room from above. Your body lying there, blankets like soft hills, the pillow cradling your head, the faint outline of your form in the half-dark. Around you, light is a thin layer on the surfaces of things, sliding over the curve of a cup, the line of a shelf, the edge of the window. It does not shout. It simply waits. Every shadow in this room is shaped by that waiting light. The place where the wall meets the floor, the corner of the ceiling, the space behind the door. Where light reaches, the world is faintly outlined. Where it does not, a gentle darkness pools. This is how light speaks, even when it seems quiet. Let your breathing match that gentle pattern. In and out, like brightness and shadow, like day and night. You do not have to control it. You only have to notice. Now let your thoughts widen just a little. The room grows larger in your imagination, then your home, then your street. Out beyond the roof, the sky is holding its own kind of darkness. Maybe there are clouds that glow in the faint spill of city lights. Maybe there are clear stars, sharp and small. Maybe the sky is simple and still, a calm lid of night closing over the day. Far above, light travels through the open space between everything. It moves from the moon to the earth, from distant planets to your sky, from the sun to this small world that cradles you. It has been moving like this for a very long time, long before you were born, long before any person ever whispered the word light. In the emptiness between stars, in the space between galaxies, there is almost nothing at all. No air to feel. No sound to hear. And yet, in that quiet, light is always on the move. It slides through the vacuum like a silent traveler, carrying stories from one place to another. If you could watch a single beam of light, a thin, invisible thread stretching across the universe, you would see it move at a steady pace. Not slow, not fast in the way we usually mean fast, but at a speed so vast that numbers begin to feel like whispers. In each second, light can cross about 299,792 kilometers of empty space. That is enough to circle the Earth many times in a single heartbeat. Yet as you lie here, that number does not need to feel large. It does not need to feel sharp. You can imagine it instead as a steady rhythm, a gentle pulse in the fabric of space. Light has its own pace, and it keeps that pace faithfully again and again. Think of the light from the sun. It leaves the surface of that burning star, bright and fierce, and then steps into the silence between sun and earth. For about 8 minutes it crosses the gap. Out there it is neither hot nor bright in the way you know. It is a pattern, a traveling wave, an invisible promise. 8 minutes later that light arrives here. It touches the upper air, the clouds, the oceans, the forests, the cities, and eventually, it has found you many times on many days. It has warmed your face on bright afternoons. It has bounced from a leaf into your eyes. It has slid across your desk, across your floor, over your hands. Even now, the quiet light in your room has been on a long journey. From stars or lamps, from distant power plants or fusion in a star's heart, it has made its way through space and atmosphere and glass, until finally it rests on the surface of your walls, your blankets, your skin. To you it feels simple. Just a soft glow. To the universe, it is the end of an elegant path. Let that thought settle like dust in a sunbeam. Light has been traveling all day, and now it has arrived at this tender moment at the edge of your night. You do not have to hold that idea tightly. You can let it drift in and drift out again the way your breath does. Notice the sensation on your face if there is any light touching your skin. The warmth or coolness of the air. The slight movement when you breathe. Notice the weight of the blanket over your legs, the way it anchors you gently to the bed. Here in this quiet place, you are surrounded by the soft work of light and shadow. You might picture the glow behind your eyelids as a kind of inner sky. Faint reds, deep purples, tiny sparks that come and go. These are small echoes of the day. Your eyes are resting, yet tiny signals still flicker in the darkness, like distant galaxies in your own private cosmos. Light is not just outside you. It has moved through your eyes, along delicate pathways into your brain. It has helped shape every day you have lived. It has told your body when to wake, when to sleep, when to feel alert, when to soften. Some of the light you have seen today began its journey long ago. Sunlight leaving the sun's surface. Light from a screen, born in tiny crystals or diodes. Reflections from surfaces all around you, bouncing like quiet echoes. All of it following the same cosmic rule, moving at the same unchanging speed when it crosses empty space. And here you are, with all of that light behind you now. The last traces settle slowly. Your body knows it is time to rest. Your mind, though, still holds a gentle question, like a candle that has not quite gone out. What is this strange traveler that shapes your days and your nights, that marks the edges of your shadows, that moves so swiftly and yet feels so calm? What is this quiet guest called light? You do not need to answer that tonight. You only need to feel the invitation of the question. A soft curiosity, the kind that does not push or strain, the kind that rests its head on the pillow beside you. Imagine a single ray of light again, like a thin line drawn across the dark. It moves without stopping, without slowing, as long as nothing stands in its way. If you could hitch a ride on that ray, if you could somehow drift along with it, the universe would look very different. Time would change. Space would change. The rules you know would soften and bend. For now, though, you stay here, inside your human body, inside this gentle room. You feel the coolness of your breath as it enters, the warmth as it leaves. You feel the softness beneath your hands, the subtle pressure at the back of your head. While light crosses huge distances with incredible speed, you are allowed to move slowly, to sink, to still. In this way, you and light are partners. It travels through the cosmos. You rest in its final glow. It races across space. You let time stretch. Every object in your room has been touched by light today. The smallest details, the lines in the fabric, the edges of pages, the curve of a glass. Light has traced each shape with quiet care. Now the shapes remain even as the light fades. You carry them in your memory, and your memory in a way is made of light too. Inside your brain, tiny electrical signals move, carrying thoughts, images, feelings. They move more slowly than light in a vacuum, yet they owe their existence to the same deep rules. The same universe that set a speed limit for light has given your mind its gentle flow. You are a slower echo of that cosmic motion. You are a softer rhythm of that ancient glow. You can let that idea soothe you, not as a grand revelation but as a calm reassurance. You belong to a universe that knows how fast things may move, a universe that sets a boundary, a universe that keeps a constant pace. There is comfort in that constancy. There is safety in that limit. For now, though, we stay close to the simple feeling of light as a companion. A subtle presence, almost shy, that steps in when you open a curtain or light a candle or switch on a lamp. It makes the edges of the world visible. It lets you see your own hands, your own face, the faces of those you love. Remember a moment from some earlier day when sunlight fell across your skin. Maybe on your arm while you sat by a window. Maybe on your face when you stepped outside. The warmth was gentle, but it came from a process unimaginably powerful. More than 100 million nuclear reactions in the sun each second, sending out light in all directions. Some of that light crossed the vacuum of space and became that one small patch of warmth on your skin. Now that same sun is either below the horizon or moving slowly away from your sky. The warmth has faded. The daylight has thinned out into memory. Yet its story continues inside you, in the way your body knows the rhythm of day and night, in the way your eyelids feel heavier as darkness gathers. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw unclench. Let the muscles around your eyes grow slack and easy. You do not need to hold the day up any longer. Light has done its work and now it rests. You can rest with it. There is a hush in the room, a kind of thick quiet as if the air itself is listening. The remaining light is delicate now, stretched thin across surfaces, barely there. Yet even this faint level of glow is the end of an enormous story of motion. Billions of meters crossed in a handful of seconds, all to arrive here as a small, reassuring brightness at the edge of your night. As you lie here, you can imagine the rest of the universe going on. Stars flare and dim in distant galaxies. Nebulae glow in cold colors. Planets swing slowly in their orbits. Everywhere, light travels through the dark at that same unwavering speed, never faster, never slower when space is empty. But in this room, that vast activity is reduced to something simple. A faint glow along a curtain. A soft reflection on a doorknob. The suggestion of shapes on the ceiling. The way your own hand becomes a quiet silhouette if you lift it and let that small light slide across your fingers. You can lower your hand again, letting it come to rest, letting the weight of it sink down. The light will still be there, tracing the outline of your presence, even if your eyes are closed. It will gently say you are here. And the darkness will softly say you are allowed to sleep. Your breath continues, steady and kind. Inhale and feel a faint coolness pass your lips or your nostrils. Exhale and feel a soft warmth bloom at the same place. This too is a wave, a rhythm moving in and out. In this slow pattern of breathing, you carry your own gentle form of motion. Somewhere deep in the structure of reality, light is moving almost 300,000 kilometers each second. Here, on the surface, you are moving at the pace of a quiet human breath. Both rhythms belong to the same universe. Both are allowed. Both are enough. Thoughts may still move through your mind, like small beams of light crossing a dark room. You do not have to chase them. You do not have to stop them. You can simply watch them come and go, bright for a moment, then fading back into the softness of your inner sky. The more you notice the feelings in your body, the textures of fabric, the temperature of the air, the softness of the pillow, the less your thoughts need to speak. They can drift to the background like distant stars, still present, but no longer demanding your gaze. In their place, calm arrives, like a slow tide of quiet light. Out beyond the walls of your room, night has its own luminous edges. Streetlights, windows, the pale glow of the moon, the scattered shine of distant stars. Each one throws thin threads of light into the dark. All of them follow the same rule, moving through air and space with that same patient speed. Inside your room, you are held by gentler threads. The way the mattress supports you. The way the blanket wraps around you. The way the faint light outlines your resting form, then steps back, leaving you half in shadow, half in glow. You are safe here. You are small but not lost. You exist inside a vast universe that has carried light across impossible distances, only to offer you this one quiet moment of illumination. This one small shimmer that keeps you company as you move towards sleep. Allow yourself to imagine that somewhere far away, a beam of light is still on its way to this world. It left a distant star long before you were born. It has crossed empty space for years, perhaps centuries, perhaps longer than any memory. One day it will meet the Earth. It may touch an ocean or a mountain or a cloud or the lens of a telescope. Tonight, you are like that beam at the end of a long journey finally coming to rest. You have traveled through a busy day, through thoughts and tasks and noise. Now you arrive here at the edge of night where you are allowed to stop moving. To surrender your weight. To let yourself be quietly held. You can imagine the universe itself taking a long, slow breath. As it breathes in, light moves outward, filling space with its unseen waves. As it breathes out, that light settles on worlds and faces and oceans, softening as it lands. You are part of that breath now, part of that slow exhale into quiet. The glow in your room feels a little dimmer, or perhaps your eyes have simply grown more used to the dark. Either way, the world seems softer around the edges. Forms blur. Time loosens. Light and darkness blend like colors in water. If you listen very carefully, not with your ears but with your attention, you might sense a kind of hum beneath everything. Not a sound you can point to, but a feeling, the sense that the world is still alive even in its quiet. This is the hum of motion, of hearts beating, of planets turning, of light moving in invisible lines through space. You are allowed to rest inside that hum. You do not need to understand it fully. You do not need to catch every detail. It can hold you even if you barely notice. Soon we will let curiosity lean a little more into the mystery of why light moves the way it does, why it has the speed it has, why it never rushes faster through empty space. But for now there is only this moment. You lying here wrapped in soft fabric. The air cool and gentle against your skin. The shadows patient. The light, a quiet shimmer waiting calmly in the dark, as if the universe itself is taking a slow breath of light beside you. As you rest with that sense of the universe breathing beside you, the room feels a little quieter than before. Your body is heavier, your thoughts softer. The faint glow that once felt like a destination now feels like a doorway, a gentle opening into something deeper. The light around you is small, almost modest, but your awareness of it stretches far. You can feel your attention widening, like a slow unfolding of wings in the dark. It is not an excited feeling. It is a calm, curious drift. You are still here in this room on this bed. Your cheek feels the slight coolness of the pillow. Your hand rests against fabric, smooth and familiar. The air brushes lightly against your lips as you breathe, bringing in a tender coolness and letting out a faint warmth. And yet, somewhere beyond these soft sensations, your mind is already wandering into the dark between the stars. It floats there gently as if the bed has become a small boat on a wide, quiet sea of space. Above that sea, light crosses the distance in clean, invisible lines. It has a pace, a pulse, a promise. You know now that this light moves quickly. You know it travels those hundreds of thousands of kilometers each second, even when no one is watching. But another thought begins to form, slow and delicate, like a small shimmer at the edge of your awareness. Why this speed? Why this particular pace? Why does light move through empty space at just this one unwavering rate, never faster, never slower? You do not need a sharp answer. The question itself is a kind of lullaby. It rises up, turns itself around in the air, then begins to fall again like a leaf drifting through stillness. You can simply lie there and follow its motion. Imagine the universe as a great, quiet hall. In that hall, light is a single person walking across the floor. No matter where they begin, no matter which way they turn, their walking speed is always the same. Not because they are forced, but because it is simply the way their steps naturally fall. You are standing at one end of this hall, watching. Sometimes you move forward. Sometimes you move backward. Sometimes you stand still. But each time light passes you, it moves with exactly the same pace. Never hurried, never lagging, always steady. In your room the air is still, but you can imagine that hall stretching out around you, invisible, woven through the walls and the ceiling and the floor. Whether you picture it or not, light has been walking those distances all day, from one surface to another, from one object to the next. The glow from a screen. The soft beam from a lamp. The gentle scatter from the sky. Each piece of light, each photon, has moved with the same quiet urgency through the spaces in between. You might feel the fabric beneath your fingertips again just to remind yourself you are here. The texture is specific and real. It might be smooth or slightly rough, or soft like worn cotton. As you notice it, you also notice the small pool of shadow under your hand, the way the faint light around it outlines your fingers. Every one of those outlines is a footprint of light. It traveled to that fabric, bounced away, reached your eyes earlier, and helped you see it. Now, with your eyes resting, you hold the memory instead. A quiet afterimage preserved in your mind. The question follows that memory. Why does this traveler move the way it does? Why does it have a limit at all? Above you, in the imagined sky beyond the ceiling, starlight has been on the road for years. Some of those thin beams left their stars long before anyone whispered your name for the first time. They have crossed the cold, almost empty spaces between stars, always at the same steady pace. If you could watch them from the side, it would look like countless threads, all drawn with the same slope, all leaning through spacetime at the same angle. The universe allows many things. Slow motion, fast motion, swirling motion. Yet here with light it says, only this speed. In the quiet of your room, your ears may pick up small details. A distant car passing, its sound low and fading. The click of cooling pipes. The faint whisper of your own breath. All of these sounds move through air at their own pace, slower than light, shaped by air's thickness and weight. Light is different. It does not need air. In fact, it moves fastest when there is almost nothing around to touch it. In empty space, where there is no air, no dust, almost no matter at all, light moves at its truest, purest pace. You can imagine a tiny region of vacuum, smaller than your fingertip. Inside that invisible cube there is almost nothing. Yet it still has a kind of character, a way of responding when electric and magnetic fields whisper through it. This character, this response, is what sets the speed limit for light. You do not need the names for these properties. You do not need the numbers or the equations. It is enough to think of vacuum itself as a quiet fabric that decides how quickly a wave can pass through. Like a calm pond deciding how fast ripples can spread across its surface. Light is one such ripple, not in water but in the fields that fill space. Electric and magnetic fields holding each other, moving together. Like two hands reaching and releasing in perfect timing. One hand creates the other. The electric creates the magnetic creates the electric. Back and forth, over and over, a dance that never quite ends. It is this pulsing, this mutual creation that keeps light moving. If you could shrink down and stand inside a beam of light, you would see these fields rise and fall. An electric field swelling, then fading. A magnetic field swelling, then fading, always at right angles, always in step. Their rhythm is precise. Their partnership is constant. The speed of light is the pace of that partnership. The rate at which one field gives rise to the other, through the quiet character of empty space. It is not a speed chosen from a shelf full of possibilities. It is a speed that falls naturally from the way the universe is built. You might imagine placing your hand on a quiet drum. If you tap it gently, the sound spreads outward through the material at a pace that belongs to that drum. Thicker skin, slower spread. Tighter skin, faster spread. You could not command the sound to move faster than the drum's nature allows. In a similar way, the vacuum of space has a kind of tension and softness. Light is the sound that moves through it. The speed of light is the natural tempo of that sound. As you lie here, you can feel the rhythm of your own body. Your heart has its own beat, slower than the motion of light, but steady. Your lungs have their own cycle, filling and emptying. There is comfort in those patterns. They give shape to your moments. The universe has its pattern too. The speed of light is one of its repeating beats. Everywhere, at every point in space, that beat is the same. It is as if reality itself hums a constant note, and light is the shape of that humming. Your eyelids are heavier now. The darkness behind them feels deeper, softer, more welcoming. If you see small bursts of color or fuzzy shapes drifting in the dark, you can imagine them as fragments of distant starlight, arriving late, wandering through your inner sky. The more you relax, the more your awareness of time shifts. Seconds lengthen. Thoughts slow down like birds gliding instead of flapping. In this slower inner world, you imagine a beam of light still moving at its unchanging pace, crossing immense distances while you sink into stillness. You and light feel very different. It moves with impossible speed. You barely move at all. And yet, for this moment, you share something. A journey through darkness. A path from one point to another. A story made from motion. The question remains, gentle and unhurried. Why is that speed exactly what it is? Why not a little faster? Why not a little slower? Scientists have measured it again and again with careful tools and quiet patience. They have found the same number every time, about 300,000 kilometers per second in empty space. Within the fine grain of reality, within the way fields respond to one another, this number is carved like a pattern in stone. You do not need to remember the number. You only need to remember the feeling of constancy. Wherever you are in the universe, if you could measure the speed of light in vacuum, you would find that same calm value looking back at you. It does not depend on your mood or your direction or your speed. It is one of the few things that does not change. In a world where everything else seems to shift, where days blur, where emotions rise and fall, there is something soothing about that. A single pace, held gently but firmly from the heart of an atom to the edge of a galaxy. Light keeps its promise, quietly, without needing to be thanked. You can feel your own need to hurry begin to fade. The part of you that rushes, that counts minutes, that tracks tasks, can step aside now. You are in the presence of a speed that is beyond your everyday sense of urgency. It is so fast that you cannot chase it and so constant that you do not need to. It is like listening to a river that has been flowing for centuries. You do not need to ask where every drop is going. You can simply listen to the movement. You can let the sound become part of the background quiet. Light in the universe is like that river, except its bed is the structure of space itself. Its flow is governed by the deepest rules of how reality responds to change. Its speed is the echo of those rules, the echo of how quickly the universe can say here and there, and have those two places speak to each other. Your breath has become slower now, more settled. You may notice the way your chest rises, almost imperceptibly, then falls again. The sheet brushes against your legs as they sink deeper into stillness. These small sensations tie you gently to the present moment, even as your thoughts wander far away. Somewhere above you, beyond the roof, beyond the atmosphere, beyond the orbit of the moon, starlight is still on the move. From one side of a galaxy to another. From the hot surface of a distant star to the cool dust of a nebula. Always at this same quiet pace, the only pace it can have. If you could see all those beams at once, the sky would look like a web of faint lines, crossing and recrossing in every direction. Most of them pass by unnoticed. Some of them find an eye or a mirror or the lens of a telescope. Some of them have found you over and over, shaping your days, marking your memories. The question that shimmers between those beams is not a demand. It is an invitation to wonder, the kind of wonder that does not wake you up, but lulls you further into calm. Why should reality have a built-in limit for the speed of light? Why should every signal, every cause reaching for its effect, be constrained by this quiet number? The answer lies deeper, in the fabric of spacetime, in the geometry of how distances and durations are stitched together. We will drift there soon, but not yet. For now, it is enough to feel the question like a star low on the horizon. Not blazing overhead, not urgent, just glowing faintly, promising more but asking very little. You have carried many questions today. Questions about work or people or choices or plans. Those questions have edges. They pull on you. They ask for decisions. This question is different. It has no sharp edges. It does not tug. It simply shines, small and silver, in the wide dark of your mind. As you breathe, imagine that each inhale brings it a little closer, not to answer it but to see it more clearly. You draw in air, cool and soft. With it, you draw in a sense of the stars, of distant light, of old journeys through space. Then, as you exhale, you let any tension that clings to the question drift away. You do not need to solve it. You only need to rest in its glow. Light is an old traveler. It has been moving across the universe for almost as long as the universe has existed. From the first moments after everything began, light has been streaming outward, filling space with its presence. It has watched galaxies form, stars ignite, planets cool. The speed at which it moves is like a habit the universe learned early, then never forgot. A rhythm that began at the first breath of existence and has never changed since. You are a very recent arrival in this long story, and that can be strangely comforting. You do not need to hold everything up. You do not need to understand every rule. The universe has been humming this same note for billions of years without your help. All you have to do is listen. All you have to do is lie here, breathing slowly, feeling the weight of the blanket, the contact of the pillow, the faint whisper of air along your skin. Somewhere in that quiet, the old rhythm of light continues. You are allowed to imagine that every star has its own subtle heartbeat of photons, each one leaving at the same pace, each one carrying a fragment of its parent's warmth. From that perspective, the speed of light is not just a number. It is a tempo, a cosmic heartbeat, a calm, repeating count that keeps the universe in time. You can think of your own heartbeat answering softly. Slower, smaller, but still there. A gentle drum within your chest, matching no one else's exactly, yet part of the great orchestra of moving things. The longer you lie here, the more the edges between your body and the room begin to blur. The darkness folds around you. You are not a separate thing watching the universe. You are part of it, resting within it while it moves around and through you. The question of why light has this speed sits somewhere inside that vastness. It glows between stars, it glows between thoughts. Sometimes science folds around it with equations and measurements. Sometimes a quiet night folds around it with pillows and breath. Tonight you are in the second kind of night. No charts, no graphs, no diagrams. Only the feeling that reality has chosen a certain way to move, and that you, in your small human way, are allowed to lean back and simply feel that motion passing by. As your eyelids grow heavier still, imagine that you are lying not just in your bed, but on a slow-turning planet, wrapped in an invisible stream of light. The earth moves, the stars wheel gently over the horizon, and light travels between them all with silent patience. You are carried within that motion, like a small boat on a vast, gentle current. You do not steer the current. You do not need to. You only float, held by the same laws that guide the rays from star to star. In this way, the question is no longer something separate from you. It is part of the cradle that holds you as you fall toward sleep. The mystery becomes a mattress under your back, a pillow under your head, a blanket over your body. It is everywhere and very soft. Your thoughts may flicker once or twice more like faint sparks behind your eyes. They might try to grasp the ideas of fields, of vacuum, of constant speed. You can let them try, then watch them tire, yawn, and curl up in a corner of your mind. They are allowed to rest too. In their place remains only a feeling of light crossing long distances at its chosen pace. A feeling of a universe that moves within a quiet limit. A feeling of being small and safe and gently enfolded in that limit. And as this feeling settles, you may sense, far away or perhaps very close, a single pale ray stretching through the darkness, unhurried, patient, moving between unseen stars as if the mystery itself is taking a long, silent walk through the night. And from that pale, unhurried ray drifting between stars, another feeling begins to rise, quiet at first like a soft pressure in the air, as if the space around you is stretching ever so slightly, making room for a deeper understanding. You are still resting, still sinking, still held, yet something in your awareness tilts and widens, ready to follow that single ray of light into the fabric it moves through. It feels as though the darkness behind your eyelids becomes a little cooler, a little deeper. The quiet in your room thickens, gathering around you like a calm tide. In that deeper quiet, the thought of light becomes more textured. No longer just a beam moving across space, but a pattern, an intricate rhythm woven through the very emptiness of the universe. You can imagine empty space as a vast, silent ocean. Not water, not air, not even darkness, but a pure openness that stretches in every direction. It is quiet, impossibly quiet, yet it is not empty of meaning. The vacuum is alive with possibility, with potential, with a structure that is invisible yet always present. Everywhere, in every direction, this ocean waits with a stillness that feels almost sacred. And into this stillness, light moves. Not as a solid thing. Not as a tiny pebble flung through the void. But as a wave, a shimmering disturbance in the fields that silently fill space. You can picture those fields now. Electric, magnetic. Two partners in a slow, endless dance. They are not things you can touch with your hands, but you can imagine them the way you imagine the wind. Unseen yet shaping everything. Everywhere in the universe, these fields lie in wait, like calm water waiting for ripples. Light is the ripple. A wave in one field creates a wave in the other. A swell in the electric field gives birth to a swell in the magnetic one. A swell in the magnetic field gives birth to another in the electric. On and on, each wave creating the next, like two dancers turning in perfect synchrony, never missing a step, never pausing to rest. This is why light moves. You can imagine standing on the edge of a still lake. You touch the surface with one fingertip. A ripple expands outward in slow, widening rings. The water carries the motion because that is what water does. It spreads disturbances gently, naturally. The vacuum of space carries disturbances in the electromagnetic fields. And it does so with astonishing speed, not because it is rushing, but because its nature allows changes to propagate at the fastest possible rate the universe permits. Your fingers rest now, still and warm against the bed. Your hand feels heavy, almost floating in its own quiet. The sheets beneath it are cool in some places, warmer in others, and you can sense the tiny impression your hand makes in the fabric. That indentation, that softness, is like a tiny echo of how light shapes space gently and subtly. As you breathe, imagine these unseen fields surrounding you, not in a dramatic way but quietly, like a faint hum you feel more than hear. The hum is slow, soft, constant. A background presence, woven through the universe at every moment. Light is the moment when that hum becomes motion. A small rise. A small fall. A whisper of electric field. A whisper of magnetic field. Both giving life to each other, wave after wave. That is why light needs no medium. It does not need air or water or wire. It carries its own fuel, its own structure inside the relationship between these two fields. Where one grows, the other follows. Where one fades, the other arrives. A perfect cycle unfolding through space. You can imagine the waves moving through the ocean of vacuum as softly as breath moves through your chest. Inhale, the electric field grows. Exhale, the magnetic field grows. Inhale, exhale, fields rising and falling, carrying the wave forward. This wave pattern, the depth of each rise, the timing of each fall, is what sets the speed of light. It is not a choice, not a command, not something forced upon reality. It is simply the number that falls out of the universe's own balancing act. The vacuum has a certain springiness to electric fields, and a certain resistance to magnetic ones. From these two characteristics, the universe's natural stiffness and softness, the speed of light emerges as the only tempo that fits, the only pace that satisfies the balance, the only speed at which the fields can pass their motion to each other without collapsing or racing ahead. It is like running your finger across a string on an instrument. The note you hear is not random. It is the result of the string's tension and weight, the precise balance of forces inside it. You cannot make that string sing with any other fundamental note unless you change its nature. The vacuum sings with light speed. It cannot sing faster. It cannot sing slower. It can only produce the one perfect tempo that its laws allow. Your thoughts drift through this idea like a slow breeze moving through tall grass. Nothing is rushed. Every thought has space to stretch and soften. You do not need to track every detail. You only need to rest in the feeling of a universe shaped by quiet rhythm. Your breath matches that rhythm again, slow, gentle, unhurried. The rise and fall of your chest echoes the rise and fall of those fields. You are not separate from this rhythm. You are part of the same universe that decided how fast light can move. Beyond your body, beyond your room, beyond your city, light continues its dance. Everywhere in space, these waves glide onward, carrying energy and information in perfect harmony. You could imagine them like threads of silver weaving through the night, crossing paths but never tangling, moving always at the speed the universe has set. If you could watch them in slow motion, slower than anything you've ever slowed down, you would see those fields bend and tilt in smooth, flowing patterns, each crest lifting the next. It would look less like motion and more like serene breathing, the steady inhaling and exhaling of the cosmos itself. The coolness around your face deepens. The darkness behind your eyelids feels softer, more layered, more alive. You can almost feel those waves brushing past you, not as physical contact, but as a calm awareness, a smooth texture in the air. Your body responds to this calm, sinking further into the mattress. Your muscles release in small increments. Your jaw softens. Your shoulders drift downward. Your legs feel warm and grounded. You are becoming heavier even as your thoughts grow lighter. The universe is vast, and yet this vastness feels intimate now. The same rules that govern galaxies also govern the glow that rests gently on the edge of your pillow. The same dance of fields that spreads light across billions of kilometers is happening at tiny scales in the shadows of your room. The ocean of vacuum and its ripples are not far away. You live inside them. You are wrapped in them. The light that touches you is part of that great unfolding, that endless weaving of fields through space. Imagine again the gentle waves stretching outward in slow arcs. Even though they move quickly through vacuum, the image you hold in your mind can be slow. Slower than breath. Slower than thought. Like waves moving through honey, smooth and deliberate. As the waves pass, they leave no trace behind. They do not carve a path. They do not tire. They do not fade until something meets them. Until they touch matter. Until they offer their energy and disappear. A photon, one tiny packet of light, makes this journey by riding the shape of these fields. It is not a point bouncing through space. It is a vibration, a pattern that moves because the universe allows it to move. And in this soft imagining, you can see that pattern as a floating ripple of illumination, drifting like a feather that has learned to glow. You may feel your breath deepen now without effort. A long inhale, slow and cool. A long exhale, warm and soft. Each breath is a small wave, each wave a small motion, echoing the greater waves that carry light through space. You lie there, still and quiet, while your awareness expands like ripples in a lake. You understand, not in words but in sensation, the quiet harmony that lets light move. You understand that it is the balance of fields, the nature of space, the softness and resistance of vacuum, all combining to give light its constant speed. You understand it like you understand sleep. Not through explanation but through the way it feels when it arrives. Your body is drifting. Your thoughts are loosening. Your attention becomes a smooth surface, ready for the next idea to glide across. And as the last of these ripples settle into the horizon of your mind, you sense that the steady, unchanging pace of light is not just a scientific rule, it is a kind of cosmic breath, a quiet reminder that even the fastest things in existence move with elegance, patience, and calm. And perhaps, somewhere, those gentle waves fold into the horizon of your thoughts, drifting onward with their steady, unchanging pace. And from that steady, unchanging pace, you sense the air around your body grow quieter still, as if the whole room tilts slightly toward a deeper calm. The waves that once rippled across the horizon of your thoughts settle into something smoother, something wider, something almost like a vast sheet of night stretched gently across the sky of your mind. In this widening quiet, a new awareness forms, slow like a hand brushing across cool stone. You begin to feel that the speed of light is not just a rhythm of waves, not just a dance of fields, but a heartbeat in the architecture of everything. A tempo written into the universe long before stars learned to shine. Your body sinks a little deeper into the mattress. Every exhale loosens a thread inside you. Your limbs grow heavy in the sweetest way, as if gravity itself is tucking you in. You feel the faint pressure of the blanket, the softness of the pillow cradling your head, the warmth that pools around your torso like a quiet tide. In this softness, you sense that light's constant speed is more than a scientific detail. It is a law woven into the shape of space and time. Spacetime, a single fabric made of distance and duration, responds to motion like a living thing. When something moves quickly, spacetime shifts. When something rests, spacetime opens gently around it. Every motion is a conversation between matter and the vast fabric that holds it. You can imagine spacetime as a smooth cloth stretched beneath everything. If a planet rests upon it, the fabric dips. If a star rests upon it, the fabric bends deeper. Not a dramatic collapse, just a soft, steady curve, like the weight of your own body shaping the blankets beneath you. Light moves through this curved fabric with ease, but always at its own tempo, the tempo the universe has set. Nothing with mass can match it, because mass, no matter how small, presses into the fabric and drags against it. Mass gives weight to existence, but weight comes with resistance. Light carries no weight, so the fabric does not resist it. It glides. But even weightless things cannot outrun the rules of the fabric itself. Light is not free to choose. It is guided, shaped, gently constrained by the way spacetime responds to electric and magnetic fields. Here in your room, you feel the weight of your body. You feel how the bed cradles you, how the earth beneath the building holds you. This weight is part of your identity, part of your presence in the universe. It is comforting, grounding, warm. It is also the reason you cannot move at light's pace. Imagine trying to run faster and faster across a field. Your feet push against the ground. Each push requires more energy. As you move faster, the world pushes back. Your legs burn, your breath shortens, your muscles tighten. Now imagine that instead of running across a field, you are trying to run through the fabric of spacetime itself. As your speed increases, spacetime pushes back harder. It does not do this harshly. It does it gently but firmly, like a hand placed over yours, slowing the motion with a quiet insistence. The faster you try to go, the more energy you need. Your mass increases, not in weight you can feel, but in how reluctant the universe becomes to accelerate you further. This is what physicists call relativistic mass, but here it is simpler. Your presence bears more and more resistance. The universe stiffens around you. To reach the speed of light, you would need infinite energy. Infinite energy for one person, one particle, one silent traveler. The universe does not allow infinities. It allows balance, harmony, limits that hold the entire structure together. As you lie here, this limit feels less like a restriction and more like a lullaby woven into reality. Just as your heart cannot beat infinitely fast, just as your breath cannot rush forever without rest, the universe too has a pace it does not exceed. Light speed is the heartbeat of spacetime. Everything moves according to it. Everything stays in rhythm with it. Even the slow turning of the Earth around its axis aligns with the geometry shaped by that cosmic tempo. You can feel that rhythm now in the room around you. The silence is deeper. Your breath is slower. Your heartbeat is steady, calm, warm. If you listen closely, not with your ears but with the quiet in your chest, you can sense that these rhythms mirror the larger rhythm of the universe. Spacetime carries you. It gives shape to your moments. It holds the path of your memories, the flow of your days, the softness of your nights. And within that fabric, light sets the tempo. The air feels softer now, almost velvety against your skin. There is a gentle coolness near your face, a warmer pool where your body sinks into the sheets. These sensations remind you that you are held by physical laws, gravity, mass, motion, that are gentle on the scale of a human life, even if they are grand on the scale of galaxies. Imagine again the way spacetime bends for mass. The Earth curves it. The Sun curves it more. A massive galaxy bends spacetime like a deep bowl. Light travels along these curves, following the path set by the shape of the universe. Not because it chooses to, because it belongs to that shape. Because the fabric guides it the same way riverbanks guide water. You can picture yourself standing beside a slow river. The water moves along a path carved by time and earth. You know it cannot suddenly climb the bank or flow upward into the air. Its movement is shaped by the world. Light's movement is shaped the same way. Not by banks of dirt and stone, but by the curvature of space itself. As you rest here, feel how deeply comforting it is to belong to something so vast, so consistent, so gently rule-bound. The same laws that guide the turning of galaxies also guide the way your breath settles into its own quiet cycle. Your breath slows even more. You may notice a small stillness at the end of your exhale, a tiny pause before the next inhale begins. This pause is its own kind of peace, a soft moment where nothing is asked of you. In that pause, you might imagine spacetime as a great sheet stretching out in all directions. On it, matter bends curves. Light traces those curves. Everything dances around this geometry. Your own body, even now, creates a tiny curve, a small indentation in the fabric of the universe. This indentation is subtle but steady. It is the reason you feel weight. It is the reason your body settles downward toward the earth. It is the reason your bed holds you in place. Gravity is not a force pulling you downward, it is space curving around your mass. Light travels through these curves with grace, but always at its own speed, because that speed is anchored in the fundamental nature of the fabric. Your body, warm and soft against the bed, is part of the same ballet. You cannot see the curves you create in spacetime, but you feel their effects every moment you exist. Every breath you take is shaped by gravity. Every dream you drift into is held by the curve beneath you. And in this curved world, the universe keeps time with the speed of light. A star explodes in a distant galaxy. Light spills outward at the same limit. A plant leaf on Earth opens to the morning sun. Its chlorophyll receives the same pace of illumination. A street lamp flickers to life at dusk. Photons flow at the same speed from glass to air. Everywhere the universe stays in rhythm. Your thoughts quiet further now, following that rhythm downward. You may feel as though the bed has grown larger, softly expanding beneath you. You may feel your limbs drift wider, not in motion but in awareness, like your body is exhaling its shape into the room. The fabric of spacetime carries galaxies, carries stars, carries planets, carries you. Light moves through it all with patient certainty. And as you lie here, you begin to sense that this certainty, this limit, is not harsh at all. It is gentle, reassuring. A boundary that keeps the cosmos coherent and whole. Without this limit, time itself would twist in ways that break the possibility of cause and effect. Events would lose their order. Moments would tangle. The universe would lose its quiet storytelling. But with this limit, this constant, we have a world where moments follow one another with softness and sense. Where light brings mornings and nourishes life. Where stars speak across the dark in faint, unwavering voices. Where you can look at the night sky and trust that the starlight reaching you is real, steady, honest. You feel that honesty now, settling around you like a blanket made of time. It wraps your body, your thoughts, your drifting mind. You are part of a universe that chooses rhythms over chaos, limits over confusion, harmony over unbound speed. And as the gentle weight of that understanding settles into you, you feel once more the great fabric breathing around you, expanding, contracting, holding you in a slow tide of spacetime. As if the universe itself is resting beside you, its breath a quiet tide, its laws a soft embrace, its tempo a whisper of order that says, nothing with mass can race ahead, nothing can escape the rhythm, everything moves in its own patient curve, and light, always light, sets the pace in which all things unfold. And in that slow tide, you feel spacetime breathing around you like a quiet, endless sea. And from that quiet, endless sea, another movement rises, so soft you barely notice it at first, like the faintest shift in a dream when the scenery changes without a sound. The tide of spacetime that held you a moment ago seems to widen, stretch, and open into something even larger. You are still drifting, still resting, still wrapped in the slow breath of the universe, yet there is a subtle pull inviting you deeper, into the way light, time, and distance weave themselves into a single, shimmering fabric. The darkness behind your eyelids grows smoother, almost luminous in its depth. You feel a gentle coolness along your face, like the night leaning a little closer. Your breathing falls into an even softer rhythm, slow and round, as if each inhale pulls the horizon toward you and each exhale releases it again. In that softened rhythm, the idea begins to form, not sharply, not suddenly, but like a lantern being lit behind a thin curtain. The speed of light is not only a tempo of waves. It is a thread. A thread that stitches together what the universe calls space and what it calls time. You can imagine this thread as something silver and impossibly fine. It stretches through the darkness, not in one direction but in all directions. Where it passes, distance takes shape. Where it vibrates, time begins to measure itself. Space and time are not separate things at all, they are two sides of the same cloth, woven with light as the shuttle. You rest in that thought as if it were a warm blanket. There is no need to grasp it tightly. It simply lies across your awareness, soft and inviting, like the afterglow of a candle fading in a dark room. Above you, beyond the ceiling, beyond the sky, stars drift in their orbits around the galaxy. The light they send out marks the paths of their movements and the depths of their history. Some of that light has been traveling for millions of years. Some for billions. Yet no matter how far it goes, it moves with the same unchanging rhythm, measuring out the cosmic distances like a patient hand tracing stitches on fabric. Your breath deepens slightly. You may feel a subtle warmth across your chest or the gentle rise of your ribs. These sensations anchor you even as your imagination expands far beyond your room. You are lying in one small place, yet awareness stretches through the dark, following the thread of light as it pulls time and space into harmony. If you picture spacetime as a great tapestry, light is the needle passing through it. Every photon brings 2 points, 2 moments, 2 locations, into relationship. Without light, depth would collapse. Distance would become meaningless. Time would lose its steps. Light does more than illuminate the world, it holds the world in place. It sets the scale of what far means. It sets the rhythm of what when means. It determines how fast changes ripple through existence. Your body lies still, and you feel the truth of those ripples in the small sensations around you. The faint hum of air in your throat, the softness pressing against your legs, the warmth nested around your torso like a quiet glow. Imagine now the faint background of the universe itself, the cosmic microwave background, the soft after-echo of the Big Bang, stretched across the sky like a whisper of ancient light. It is cool, almost uniform, a gentle haze of microwaves that has been traveling for nearly 14 billion years. When you think of that light, stretched thin by the expansion of the cosmos, you feel the age of time itself settle like dust on your thoughts. That ancient glow moves with the same speed as the light from a candle flame. With the same speed as the light from a nearby star. With the same speed as the faint reflection inside your room. Everywhere the same constant. Everywhere the same quiet limit. This sameness ties the universe together, like a delicate stitch repeated endlessly across a vast quilt. Even when galaxies drift apart, even when stars are born or collapse, even when space stretches wider with each passing moment, light keeps its pace, ensuring that time unfolds in gentle, comprehensible steps. A truth begins to settle in your awareness. Not a sharp truth, but a warm one. A truth that makes the universe feel less chaotic and more like a home. The speed of light defines the geometry of reality. It is the ruler that measures every journey. It is the metronome that keeps the cosmic story in time. Your body mirrors that story. Each breath marks a moment. Each heartbeat draws a small arc in time. You do not move at the speed of light, yet your life is structured around its rhythm. Morning and night. Shadow and glow. The rising and falling of daylight, all paced by the sun's photons crossing space toward you. You can picture one of those photons now, leaving the sun's surface in a burst of plasma and heat. It travels outward, following the curvature of space, threading its way through planets and dust and quiet regions of vacuum. For 8 minutes, it races through space carrying warmth and brightness. Then it touches Earth, touches ocean, touches grass. Touches the skin of your arm on some forgotten afternoon. In that moment, your body welcomed a thread of spacetime that began its journey millions of miles away. In that moment, you became part of the tapestry. And now, lying here, your body still remembers the warmth of that light. Your skin knows sunlight without needing to see it. Your bones carry the memory of days long past. You are a creature shaped by the threads of time that light has woven across your life. The room around you grows quieter still, like the world is tucking itself deeper into night. Your limbs feel looser, as though sleep is painting soft brushstrokes across your edges. Your thoughts drift like embers in a slow, drifting breeze. In this softened state, a new understanding emerges. The speed of light keeps the universe from tearing itself apart. If signals could move faster, cause and effect would blur. Moments would collapse into one another. Chaos would ripple outward. Instead, the universe has chosen coherence, structure, harmony. Light is the boundary that keeps everything in order. Imagine the galaxy as a grand, slow-turning spiral. Billions of stars move through their orbits, following curves written by gravity. Yet they move in a way that preserves their shape, their harmony, because nothing communicates faster than light allows. Galaxies keep their swirl because light enforces time. Stars keep their balance because light sets a limit. Planets follow their paths because spacetime carries them at a pace shaped by the speed of illumination. And you, lying here breathing gently, are part of that same order. Your heart beats in time. Your breath flows in time. Your thoughts drift in time. Each moment follows the next, soft and sure, because the universe allows no rush, no break in rhythm. Let yourself feel that safety. The comfort of limits. The way structure holds you. The way time carries you gently from breath to breath. Your room feels warmer now. You're breathing deeper, slower still. The air carries the faint sense of fabric of your pillow, of night itself. If you listen, you may hear the soft settling of the building, the far-off hush of wind against a window, or perhaps only silence, the sweetest sound of all. In that silence, the universe feels both immense and intimate. You are tiny within it and yet not lost. You are a point on the tapestry, a place where light has arrived after countless journeys. You are a point where time has rested, marking its passage with the rhythm of your breath. The more you sink into this awareness, the more the boundaries between yourself and the world seem to soften. You are not separate from the fabric. You are woven into it. Your weight bends spacetime gently beneath you just as planets bend it beneath them. Your presence has shape. Your existence has gravity. You matter in the literal sense. The speed of light is the thread that ties your presence to every other presence. A universal whisper that says, this is the pace at which reality unfolds. This is the rhythm shared by stars and atoms alike. This is the tempo in which everything breathes. You drift deeper into that rhythm now. Your mind loosens. Your body softens. Even your thoughts, once busy and bright, now glow only faintly, like lanterns fading in the distance. The universe around you stretches wide. Space grows gentle. Time becomes slow and spacious, a long, soft hallway that you walk through with effortless steps. Somewhere in that hallway, light continues its eternal journey, weaving moments together so the universe can remember itself. And somewhere inside you, starlight settles into the quiet parts of your mind, like a small, tender reminder of how deeply you belong to the cosmos. And as the night folds around you, the threads of space and time settle softly across your thoughts, as gentle as starlight drifting down to rest upon quiet ground. And from that gentle sense of starlight resting on quiet ground, another slow shift begins. Subtle, like the smallest change in the air when a door opens somewhere far away. You feel it not as motion but as a deepening of calm, a kind of settling that invites your attention inward. Not to withdraw from the universe, but to see how the universe moves within you. The threads of space and time that once stretched outward now feel closer, almost folded around your body like a soft cloak. The wide cosmic movements that traced galaxies and ancient light begin to echo in the small rhythms of your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Moments expanding. Moments releasing. Your breathing feels slower now, as though each inhale opens a door and each exhale gently closes it. The air against your lips is cool, the warmth you release is soft, like the faintest glow slipping through darkness. This rhythm begins to feel like something more than breathing. It feels like the flow of time itself, moving through you in waves. It is here, in this inward quiet, that the idea of time becomes softer, more fluid. Time no longer feels like a ticking clock or a straight path. It feels like a river. A slow, drifting current of moments flowing past you or perhaps around you or perhaps through you. And as you rest deeper, you notice that the river slows. Not because the world has stopped, but because your awareness has softened into a gentler kind of noticing. Your thoughts are no longer quick. They move like leaves on water, turning in lazy circles before drifting onward. This is where time begins to bend. When something moves very fast, truly fast, near the speed of light, time responds. It stretches. It lengthens. It grows thin and smooth like a ribbon pulled slowly through fingers. This is a real truth of the universe, one measured, tested, known. As motion increases, time slows. A fast traveler ages more slowly than a slow traveler. A fast-moving particle lives longer than a slow one. The faster one moves, the more time leans away from them, creating a softness in the flow of their moments. You can feel this truth in your own body now, in a metaphor made of sensation. When you rush through your day, time feels sharp, fast, fleeting. But here, in this quiet space, with your breath steady and long, time feels wider. It feels open. A place you could rest inside without needing to hurry onward. Your fingers feel heavier. Your shoulders settle. Your thoughts blur into softer shapes. All of this mirrors the way time dilates for fast-moving things. Except here, your slowness is what makes time feel generous, unfolding like a long stretch of warm twilight. You may notice a faint tingling in your hands, or a soft buzzing in your legs, or a warmth blooming low in your torso. These sensations are signs that your nervous system is easing into rest. As your body slows, your mind feels the echo of that slowing. This is your own kind of time dilation, subtle and human and deeply soothing. Above you, in the vast night sky, there are particles called muons, tiny, short-lived travelers born in the upper atmosphere. They move so fast that time hardly touches them. A muon born miles above Earth should decay before reaching the ground. But because it moves near the speed of light, time stretches for it, allowing it to continue just long enough to meet the Earth. This scientific truth carries a quiet poetry. The faster something moves, the more time gives way. The slower something moves, the more time unfolds. Tonight you are not racing. You are not rushing. You are resting so deeply that time feels almost still. This stillness is not empty, it is spacious, generous, full of quiet hums and soft breaths. Your awareness drifts now, falling into these small sensations that bloom in slowness. The weight of your legs. The warmth of the blankets. The soft pressure beneath your cheek. The faint pulse in your fingertips. These sensations come alive when time slows in the mind. When you are caught in speed, these details disappear. But in stillness, they return like small lanterns glowing along the edges of a path you had forgotten. Your breath becomes a soft river again. Each inhale carries cool air along the inside of your nose. Each exhale slips out warm and gentle. This river is slow, so slow that it feels like it could stretch forever. You drift in that river as time begins to loosen around you. Not in a disorienting way, but in a comforting one, like fabric relaxing under warm hands. The faces of clocks fade. Numbers lose their importance. Moments cease to march and instead begin to sway, drifting like currents of soft, glowing water. Somewhere deep in physics there is a truth. For particles moving at the speed of light, time does not pass at all. From the perspective of a photon, its entire journey, from the heart of a star to the surface of your skin, happens in an eternal now. This is not something you need to understand logically. It is something to feel emotionally. The idea that in the deepest laws of the universe, there is a place where time is still. A place outside hurry, outside worry, outside the moving hands of clocks. Tonight you are touching the edge of that place. Not by racing forward, but by slowing so deeply that the world becomes soft around you. The silence in your room thickens. It gathers in the corners, smooth and cool. It lies across your body like a warm blanket. It fills the small spaces between thoughts, turning them into wide, open plains. You can walk across those plains in your mind. There is no rush. There are no distances that must be crossed quickly. There is only this quiet space where time leans toward stillness. Imagine a small river of starlight flowing beside you. Its surface is smooth. Its movement is slow, like honey warmed by evening air. Each glimmer along the surface is a moment passing, long, stretched, glowing. As you watch this river, the distinction between one moment and the next becomes softer. They blend. They overlap. They ripple into one another like waves merging in a wide, still bay. This blending is the beginning of dreams. Dreaming is the state where moments become fluid. Where time loses its edges. Where the mind can slip between memories and imaginings as if they share the same gentle flow. You are drifting toward that state now. You feel the heaviness behind your eyes, a sweet weight that tugs at your awareness, urging it downward and inward. Your jaw relaxes further. Your breath deepens. Your heart keeps a steady, slow rhythm that feels like it could carry you softly into sleep. Time bends around you like a curtain drawn in slow motion. The past grows distant. The future grows faint. All that remains is this moment, the one you inhabit with your breath, your softness, your sinking body. This moment stretches. It lengthens like a soft thread pulled gently between two fingers. You float along it like a leaf drifting on the surface of a calm stream. Your mind may wander, but each wandering is slow, as if thoughts must move through warm water. Images may appear and dissolve. A star glowing in the dark, a field under moonlight, a quiet room where dust sparkles in a thin shaft of morning light. None of these images demand attention. They simply drift by, carried by the slow river of your inner time. You are safe here. You are contained. You are held by the very same laws that hold galaxies in their graceful spirals. Time is not pushing you. Time is not pulling you. Time is sitting beside you, leaning its head gently against yours, whispering that there is nothing to do, nowhere to go, no rush to feel. As you sink even deeper, the line between breath and thought blurs. Each inhale feels like a soft turning inward. Each exhale feels like a letting go so complete that your body could melt into the sheets. The river of starlight beside you grows quieter. Its glow softens. Its surface becomes smoother, until it reflects your calm like a mirror with no ripples. And as that river fades into a deeper silence, You sense the last truth of this section settling gently over you, that when motion slows, time opens. When awareness softens, moments stretch, and when you rest deeply enough, the universe leans close, offering you a stillness as wide as night. And somewhere in that stillness, time falls open around you like a quiet curtain drifting in a gentle, endless breeze. And from that quiet curtain drifting in the gentle breeze of time, the air around you softens even more, as if the edges of the universe dissolve into a haze of night blue velvet. The last traces of the starlit river fade into stillness, and you feel yourself sinking into a deeper layer of calm, a place where thought no longer needs shape and light no longer needs speed. A place where everything begins to dissolve into pure sensation. Your breath moves like a slow tide now, drawing the room into you with each inhale, letting it drift away with each exhale. Nothing in your body is rushing. Nothing in your mind is reaching. Your limbs lie heavy and warm, like they've been gently placed in soft sand. The quiet has weight to it, settling over your skin, smoothing every ripple inside you. In this deepening quiet, the idea of light returns, not as a wave, not as a particle, not as a traveler racing through space, but as a presence. A soft companion. Something that moves beside you without needing to be seen. A gentle shimmer resting just behind your awareness. You no longer imagine beams flashing across galaxies or ripples weaving through vacuum. The magnitude of those images dissolves. What remains is a tender glow, small enough to cradle in your hands, soft enough to whisper across your skin. Light becomes intimate. It becomes the faint warmth against your face, the subtle glow behind your eyelids, the pale shimmer that lingers in memory long after a candle has been blown out. As thought slows, this glow feels alive. It moves the way mist moves, quietly, without direction, without urgency. Every breath seems to invite it closer, until it rests around you like a thin veil of moonlit air. The science that carried you through earlier sections does not disappear. It simply melts into metaphor. The constancy of light becomes the constancy of your breath. The structure of spacetime becomes the soft shape of your body against the mattress. The harmony of fields becomes the harmony of your mind settling into rest. Nothing is sharp now. Nothing is exact. You are drifting into a dreamlike world where the laws of the universe speak through sensations rather than facts. You inhale. A coolness brushes your nostrils. You exhale. Warmth gathers around your lips. That warm touch feels like a tiny lantern glowing in the dark. A lantern made not of fire, but of the soft rhythm of life moving through you. This lantern does not guide you forward. It simply stays by your side, glowing low, enough to let you feel the space around you without waking your thoughts. The faint hum of distant photons, imagined or real, begins to feel like a whisper in the dark. Not a spoken whisper, but a presence, the kind you feel more than hear. The kind that tells you that even in silence, the world is gently alive. Your skin senses the air differently now. The temperature feels smoother, like the room has settled into a single, comforting tone. Shadows blend with the dimness. Edges soften. Even the shape of your own body feels less defined, as if you are becoming part of the bed, part of the darkness, part of the slow night around you. The last bits of science that remain are no longer concrete. They have become symbols. Ideas that drift the way particles drift in warm air. Light does not slow down in vacuum. Your breath does not hurry in rest. Light has no mass. Your thoughts grow weightless. Light follows the curves of spacetime. Your awareness follows the curves of your breath. These parallels are soft, gentle reminders, not lessons. They exist only to ease you further into quiet. In this state, time stops being linear. It becomes circular, looping softly around itself like a ribbon caught in a slow wind. Moments feel thick. Dreams begin to gather at the edges of your awareness, like shadows that wait patiently for your mind to loosen its grasp. You may feel a subtle floating sensation as if your body is sinking and rising at the same time. This is the threshold between waking and sleep, where your muscles grow heavy but your thoughts grow light. A threshold where the world becomes blurry in the most peaceful way. In this drifting place, light no longer feels like something that moves. It feels like something that rests. Not a flash but an ember. Not a beam but a glow. You can imagine a small ember floating in the darkness. Its light is faint but steady. It pulses with warmth, not heat. It holds a softness that feels almost alive, a gentle presence that keeps you company as you drift deeper. This ember is the last symbol of light in your mind. It does not travel. It does not measure distance. It simply exists, like the slow beating of your heart or the soft expansion of your lungs. Somewhere in the room, the faint scent of fabric or night air or your own skin may become noticeable. This scent is grounding, pulling you deeper into your body. Your body, warm and relaxed, becomes a landscape where quiet settles. Your fingers may feel distant, as though wrapped in soft cotton. Your legs feel rooted, anchored into comfort. Your face feels calm, smooth, untouched by effort. Every exhale feels like a surrender. Every inhale feels like a gentle invitation to drift deeper. You no longer imagine cosmic distances or bending spacetime. You no longer picture waves or particles or fields. You are simply drifting with midnight light, light that has slowed, softened, and become almost weightless in the cradle of your mind. Your thoughts shimmer faintly, like dust floating in a beam of moonlight through a darkened window. They drift without direction. They glow without meaning. They appear and dissolve as gently as stars reflected on still water. Your awareness narrows to the feeling of being held. Held by the bed. Held by the dark. Held by the quiet structure of the universe itself. Held by something soft and nameless that asks nothing of you. A slow heaviness settles behind your eyes. Your breathing deepens again, spreading warmth through your chest. Your entire body feels like it is melting, like wax warmed by a distant flame. The ember of light in your imagination grows dimmer, but more comforting. It flickers not with energy but with rest. With the slow, peaceful certainty of something that does not need to shine brightly to be real. The world feels distant now. Your thoughts move like shadows across quiet water. Even the idea of moving your body seems distant, unimportant, swallowed by the softness that surrounds you. This is the descent, not into darkness but into a softer light, a light quiet enough to guide you into dreams. The night leans close around you, cool and gentle. The quiet settles deeper. The glow inside you dims to a soft, silver haze. And somewhere at the edge of your drifting awareness, you feel a pale glimmer settling, light no longer racing, no longer dancing, but resting at the border of your dreams like a quiet, waiting star. And from that pale glimmer resting at the border of your dreams, something even softer begins to unfold. A hush so deep, so tender, that the air itself feels like it has paused beside you. The ember of light that once drifted in your imagination grows dimmer still, not gone, but settling, curling into itself the way a firefly might fold its wings when the night becomes cool and still. You are drifting now in a calm that feels weightless. The room around you is no longer a room but a cocoon of dark, warm space. Your limbs lie untouched by tension. Your breath is a whisper. Your thoughts are little more than drifting feathers, floating where they will. It is here, in this slow, silent world, that light no longer feels like motion but like rest. Every earlier image of photons racing across galaxies, of starlight weaving through vacuum, of waves rising and falling through fields, has faded. What remains is the faint presence of light as a memory, like the last glow of twilight in the sky long after the sun has gone. This fading glow feels familiar. A return. A gentle echo of where you began, when light first brushed the edges of your awareness and settled softly across your room. You feel that echo now deep inside your chest, a warm, quiet center where your breath gathers before drifting outward again. This softness is not an ending. It is a resting place. The place where the story of light touches the story of sleep. Because even though light has a speed limit here at the threshold of dreams, there is no need for speed at all. Light does not need to travel. Light does not need to shine. It simply rests like you. Your eyelids feel heavier. Your thoughts stretch thinner. The small muscles of your face relax until even the memory of tension dissolves. You may feel the faintest pulse in your fingertips or the warm throb at your temples, rhythms that feel slow and distant as if they belong to another world. Imagine now that the night around you is a vast, quiet lake. Smooth. Still. Reflecting nothing because nothing needs to be reflected. This lake is made of silence so deep that even starlight rests upon its surface without a ripple. Your body lies upon that lake the way a leaf lies upon water, supported, held, cradled by the softness beneath. On the far horizon of this lake, a faint glow lingers. Not bright, not sharp. A low, patient shimmer that feels like the last thread connecting you to waking. It neither calls nor urges. It simply remains like a guardian of the boundary between awareness and sleep. The science that filled earlier moments now becomes a faraway hum. Not gone, but transformed into something purely sensory. A texture in the air. A warmth behind your ribs. A rhythm matching the pulse of night. Light traveling from stars billions of years old still moves through the universe. A quiet flow. A cosmic exhale. And though that vast motion continues, its urgency does not reach you here. What reaches you is its gentleness. The way ancient photons drift through the dark long after their stars have faded. They continue not because they are fast, but because the universe allows them to rest within their own rule, their own pace. This too reflects your own rest. You are drifting at the pace your body allows, your mind loosening in waves, your breath falling into a rhythm older than memory. The room around you, or the lake beneath you, grows quieter. The air has a softness that feels like velvet brushed in slow circles. The darkness has a temperature cool and gentle near your face, warm where it settles against your skin. Your awareness floats inside this darkness like a small lantern that has lowered its flame to the faintest glimmer. There is nothing to chase now. Nothing to solve. Nothing to hold. Every inhale is a feather drifting up. Every exhale is that feather settling down again. And somewhere within this drifting light, real or imagined, outer or inner, takes its own kind of rest. A photon that has traveled from a distant galaxy carries no sense of time. It experiences no urgency, no fatigue, no beginning or end. Its entire existence unfolds in a single, eternal moment of now. You are touching that moment. Not through motion but through stillness. If the universe had a heartbeat, this would be the resting phase between beats. The moment when everything is suspended, held delicately in balance, before the next breath of creation begins. You sink deeper into that suspended moment. Your breath becomes softer. Your mind becomes quieter. Your body feels like it is dissolving gently into the dark, becoming weightless and warm. The faint shimmer at the horizon dims even further, glowing now only as a memory of light. The same memory that welcomed you when the story began. Your awareness mirrors that faint glow, a single ember the universe has placed softly inside you, not to guide you outward but to comfort you inward. You drift through that warmth the way a small boat drifts across still water. There is no sound, no urgency, only the slow rocking of breath, only the gentle settling of thought. In that rocking, you feel the vast universe growing distant, not leaving you but becoming part of the background hum, like distant wind or far-off waves. This distance brings peace. A sense that everything is as it should be. A sense that the night holds you with the same laws that hold galaxies, with the same softness that lets ancient starlight glide across unimaginable distances and still arrive in silence. The glow behind your eyelids fades to the faintest haze. The darkness becomes deeper, warmer, more complete. And as your breath moves in slow, even waves, the world settles with you. It leans closer. It grows softer. It grows quiet. So quiet that it feels as though light itself has curled up beside you, resting its head against the pillow of night, waiting for your dreams to open. And in that deepening hush, the last perception you feel is the night humming gently within you as everything, mind, breath, light, and world, grows perfectly, wonderfully still. And from that perfect stillness where the world curled softly around you, another quiet rises, not brighter, not louder, but deeper, as if the night itself exhales and leaves you floating in the soft space just beneath waking. Nothing moves quickly here. Nothing needs to. You are drifting in a pool of darkness so smooth, so velvet soft, that even the memory of light feels like a warm sigh dissolving into the air. The faint shimmer that accompanied you through the night does not fade. It settles. It becomes part of the quiet in your chest, a small silver warmth that belongs to you now, woven into your breath the way starlight is woven into the sky. Your body feels weightless, as if the bed holding you is made of the same soft fabric as dreams themselves. Every limb, every fingertip, every slow breath has loosened into the darkness like threads releasing from a gentle knot. Time no longer steps forward. It drifts, spreading wide like ripples on still water, each ripple softer than the last, until the surface becomes smooth again. You feel the room around you but only faintly, the warmth under your covers, the cool air brushing your cheek, the steady, quiet pulse beneath your ribs. Even these sensations begin to soften, melting into the same slow rhythm that carries the rest of the universe. Somewhere far beyond your closed eyes, light continues its patient journey across space. It moves with the same constant tempo it always has, passing through galaxies, skimming the edges of ancient stars, gliding across the silent ocean of spacetime. But here where you are resting, light does not need to travel. It does not hurry. It does not shine. It simply rests beside you, settling into the soft darkness, a companion that has followed you gently from the glow of the first moment you opened your inner eyes tonight. Earlier, the night hummed around you. Now, the hum has moved inward into the warm space behind your breath, into the quiet shape of your thoughts. It is no longer something you hear. It is something you are becoming. Your awareness dims like the last ember in a low fire. Not extinguished, just glowing softly, quietly, deep within. Each inhale draws the night gently closer. Each exhale lets your body sink deeper into warmth, deeper into stillness, deeper into the soft cradle that sleep has prepared for you. If thoughts appear, they appear like slow drifting clouds, light, harmless, floating across the sky of your mind without leaving a trace. You are no longer traveling through ideas. You are drifting through sensation, through softness, through quiet. The boundaries of your body blur. You feel as though you are expanding, becoming part of the still air, the warm darkness, the soft hush that holds the room. The universe feels close. It feels near. It feels like it has lowered itself to your scale, curling beside you in the dark, breathing with you, offering you its quiet. There is nothing left to understand. Nothing left to hold. Only the slow rhythm of rest, moving through you like a gentle tide. Even the memory of light slows to match your breath. Even the countless stars settle into their places. The cosmos dims to a soft, endless glow behind your eyelids, a glow that feels safe, warm, and steady. As you slip deeper, the first image from tonight returns in a softer form. Not the opening glow at the edge of night, but the glow now resting quietly within you. A warm hum, a slow pulse, a tiny lantern of calm that stays lit even as sleep begins to gather around your mind. Your breath softens once more. Your body melts downward. Your awareness thins to a gentle whisper. And still, the night breathes within you, quiet as starlight, deep as dreaming, soft as the endless dark.